So why don't we call it to order? It's 7:03.
Okay. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, I will move on to opportunity to address the board. Is there anyone here from the public who would like to address the board? Okay, the public says no.
All right.
Okay, so moving on to the consent agenda for the minutes of the July 19th, 2022 board meeting. Were there any additions or corrections? I had one question. Would there have been a motion to approve hiring Katie as the interim director after executive session adjourned?
Probably. Did I not get that
I don't think so.
in the meeting, in the minutes? Okay.
There would have been, and it would have been after executive, which was, we usually forget what we're doing at that point, so.
Okay, I'll fix that.
Okay. So then I guess a motion to approve the minutes as amended, or do we need to defer that to the next meeting?
No, we can have a motion to approve as amended.
Okay, then I would look for a motion.
I so move to approve the minutes from the July Board of Trustee meetings with the, as just discussed, to amend with the motion point the interim director post close of the executive session. That was a mouthful of emotion.
Second.
Okay, everybody in favor?
All in favor, sorry.
Hi,
Aye.
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 I have a question. The little tilde symbol, I've never really noticed it. Is that like approximately? Is that what that means?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's
That's what math term?
a math symbol, sorry.
That's okay. I've never used, I always wondered why it's a tilde, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Everyone with the tilde? Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so we can move on to the financial reports. Where did my share screen button go? Oh, it's bright green and right in front of me. That's not. Okay. Okay, is this visible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
All righty. So I wanted to thank Bettina at the Village for her help setting up my account to run these reports. Bettina is very helpful in general, so I'll put that in the public record. We got another chunk of property tax revenue this month, a little bit more than what we got last month. This is an area where my knowledge is not as good as Eric's, but this all looks pretty standard to me. And I wanted to, let's see, scrolling down to the bottom, we are at about, let me get that over. 30.97% of the budget expended, and looking back at the past 5 years, usually in August, we're between 19 and 29.6% of the budget at this point. So this is at the higher end of normal, but when you take into account the expenses from the store room, that makes sense. So I'm pretty comfortable with where we are based on that.
Where is that 30.97%? Did you say, Martha?
It is right here.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Were there any questions about the financial reports?
Yeah, let's go back to revenues at this point. So where are we? Said we got a little bit more, so we're at 47%. And that amount is 112,121, is that it, or?
Yeah, this is the amended budget. So okay, so this is our total revenue for the month, and then the year to date is
The 532.
532.
32, okay. And where are we this month with for passports?
Passports are at, it was 5,500, and I know we've had quite a few appointments since then. Where did passports go? Oh, no, I went too far.
Yeah, you just went past it.
I went
Yeah.
past
Yeah,
the
it was
passports.
Right near the top. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so we're at 5,500 for the entire year, which is about a third of the way through. And I know we've definitely, it's been busier for passports. It's picking back up again. July was pretty quiet, and then everyone seems to be making plans for September and October. So we've had a fair amount this month, which is great because we're down to one agent right now, which is me.
Oh.
But that's okay. We'll make through.
And
get through it.
our budget is 15. Is that what the figure there? I can't see.
Yeah.
The I'm just, yeah, good.
Yeah.
We're a third of the way. That's excellent.
So that's going pretty well so far.
And our reserve amount is,
Let's see. The reserve amount that's on the balance sheets. Yep. Balance.
fund balance.
There's a miscellaneous reserve, but I think is there another reserve?
Unreserved fund is 4,403.
Oh.
So which number are we looking at? Other
Let's see,
funds
what's the
reserve.
beginning of your balance? I think this must be the reserve.
434.
Yeah,
Yeah, the 434.
okay. So, which is about 40% of our budget, is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, and I think the goal was between 25 and 50. So we're in good shape there.
That's great. That's great. Thanks, Martha.
Okay, you're
Hey,
welcome.
Kathy, one other place I thought you might be heading is maybe just to take a look at telecoms, how we're running year to date on telecoms. I think that came up in our in Eric's notes for the Building and Grounds Committee. So in the monthly expenses, telecoms, that's where we had switched. I think it was telecoms
Talking
where
about
we
the phone?
switched.
Talking about the phone situation?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think.
I read Martha's notes. That's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have more to say about that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
well, actually, okay, so what is our budget?
for phones, I feel, I think phones might be, I want to say utilities, but I don't think that's correct.
It may be utilities because it's the all the other utilities are sort of standard where they're covered
Yeah.
by the village.
I can definitely, well, I can look at the check register and figure that out actually, now that I think about it, because
Yeah, let's do that. I think we're all going to have a lot of re-educating on these numbers because Eric was so fluid with them.
yeah,
our
no,
utilities, we have so few utility bills that 500 a month is something significant. So it's probably is the phones. So we'll want to talk
Mhm.
about that and what your contract is and what your satisfaction level is, and
Yeah,
which is
which is probably pretty low at the moment, I would imagine. Yeah.
Oh, there's more.
Okay.
Okay, so I can, it'll definitely be in the check register, so we can answer that for sure.
Great.
Were there any other questions on the financial reports? Then I would look for a motion to approve the financial reports. And then this is a roll call vote. So trustee Meierhoff. Oh, wait,
Aye.
no, sorry, you've got to
The
make a motion.
first.
Didn't Bonnie make the motion?
Oh, Bonnie, did you move?
I did not, but I can.
Oh, I
Okay,
thought you
please
had.
do.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Whoa.
I move to approve the July financial report.
Thank you.
I'll
need a-
second.
Okay. And now for the roll call vote, trustee Meierhoff.
I'm sorry, who seconded? Kathy?
Kathy
Oh, okay.
Okay.
and I.
Trustee Shaul,
Aye.
trustee Jerch,
Aye.
trustee Hayes,
Aye.
trustee Graziano,
Aye.
and trustee Heintzelman.
Aye.
Right, the motion carries. Or passes, or both. Okay, so the check register,
So is Granite Telecommunications, is that who the phone company or the phone place is?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so that is under utilities then.
Oh, okay. All right, that's good to know.
So-
So for the checks, there were a few I was going to point out. So this check to Chinese Intercultural, this is for Yvonne Wolf. She is going to be giving a mock interview workshop for us in the fall. This is a program that Anna booked as part of a job hunting series that we're going to be offering in response to patron feedback, patron interest in more job hunting resources and materials. So there's that. Oh, geez, I just did something to my screen. Okay. The next one I was going to mention is that this check for CVI for about $7,000. This is the deposit on our firewall server replacement that it was voted on at the last meeting. So the deposit for that has been made. Crystal maintenance, we had our deep clean, which I think it was in June. It was on my maternity leave, so I'm not, oh, it says right here, July 3rd. And so we had an additional check for them for the annual deep clean. And the other thing, let's see, this charge for staff badges, before Eric left, we purchased a, it's like a name tag making device. I haven't actually looked at it, but this is going to allow us to print our own staff name badges rather than ordering them from Demco. And I believe Eric did some math on it, and long-term it will save us a little bit of money and also make it easier to customize our own badges and make them all pretty with our branding, which will be fun. But the important thing is that it saves us money. So I wanted to point that out. The IHLS OCLC, this is our annual OCLC membership fee, and this pays for our interlibrary loan software, the database that we use to request interlibrary loans. OCLC does a lot of things. This is just one aspect of it, but this is our annual fee for them. And we did have another big check to, where is it, SMC for $23,000 for additional expenses for the Stroh Quiet Reading Room. And we need to work out with the foundation, the reimbursement for that. But since it's a large and exciting check,
Is
I
that
thought
for, Is that
But-
part of the 33,000 you and I discussed, or is that over and above?
No, I think this is part of what we discussed.
Okay.
And I will get you that information at some point.
Sure, and you and I will, I'll fill everybody in about it eventually.
Okay,
Tonight, but eventually I will later tonight.
Yeah, okay.
Whenever.
you know, at some point in time. And then the only other thing I was going to mention is you'll notice there's a check for Shreddit. Shreddit, as the company name suggests, is the company that comes and takes our sensitive documents away and shreds them. This is a bit more than what we've been paying. There was, with some of the personnel changes we had, this account got overlooked, which led to us inadvertently missing some invoices. So this is us catching up with those payments. And then we're going to put this on a staff credit card instead of cutting a check directly to them to prevent that from happening again. And then we won't have to worry about it anymore because we'll have it on auto pay. So that is all that I have for the checks. Are there any questions? Okay, then I would look for a motion to approve the checks. Do you need the numbers, Jeannie?
I've got them in the.
Okay.
I've got them. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody out there want a motion?
Well, I will move that
I'll
we accept, we approve of the July monthly checks number 15,291 and 15,293 through 15,329.
I'll second Janie. It's Bonnie.
Okay. And then Martha, I think you need to. do a
Oh,
roll
right.
call.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
Okay, for roll call vote, trustee Meierhoff,
Aye.
trustee Shaul,
Aye.
trustee Jerch,
Aye.
trustee Hayes,
Aye.
trustee Graziano,
Aye.
and trustee Heintzelman.
Aye.
Okay. The motion carries. I'm going to stop the screen share. So moving on to committee reports, we had 3 committees that met. Building and Grounds, HR, and the ad hoc. Ad hoc, I'm assume we'll tackle under new business.
Yes.
But did Building and Grounds and or HR want to report on anything or?
Well, sure, I'll do Building Your Ground since that's first. And we met on August 4th to talk about final discussion for furnishings for the Mistro Reading Room. And even though we were able to cut out a couple of things that from the order because there were too many tables and too many chairs on order, that helped to bring the number down a little bit. We still have $10,000 budgeted, and the items we selected came in just shy of $13,500. So we agreed to, we thought that it might be a good idea to split the purchase order in 2. I don't know how the furniture company is going to feel about that because it's going to mean 2 deliveries, so it'll cost us a little bit more. We can discuss that amongst ourselves, but we were going to order the work table and the 2 task chairs because we don't have anything like that to put in its place, and then use 4 chairs, 4 soft comfy chairs that we already have to put in there until such time as the money comes due. We could do that. Or the other possibility is that we made a motion as a committee to ask the finance committee to make a recommendation to see if we have a source of funds to make up the difference between the donations and the total estimated costs for the new furniture. I know that I mentioned at one point that I thought that that was what our reserve funds were for exactly situations like that. And I think Kathy, you agreed with me, but still that's something that it's a matter we have to have, you know, the finance committee, Bill and your buddies look at and tell us if we can afford to do that. Frankly, I think it might be better just to order everything all at once, just because, like I said, they're going to charge us they're going to charge us 2 delivery fees. I have no idea what that will be. So that's just on the table for us tonight. And I don't know, do you guys have a committee meeting anytime in the future?
We're supposed, we were trying to have one before this. We couldn't get our schedules all together. So I'm anticipating that we're going to get together in the next week or two. And
Great.
so we can add that. I don't think it's going to be a problem. And I agree with you, Janie, just order everything instead of having 2 separate delivery charges. It'll save us some money. I think we're ahead on some aspects of some of the budgets. That
Maybe we could,
that.
you know, we could discuss this now. What do you think, Martha and Kathy? Should we discuss this now or should we save it for new business?
Well, why don't we, Martha, if you don't mind, if we could just take a little bit of time to kind of noodle this out and then.
Yeah, sure.
Janie and Bonnie and I met, I'm not sure who else was at that meeting, to talk about this furniture situation. I want to fill the board in on what's going on. Cal had made a very generous donation, as you know, of $50,000 towards the store room. My husband and I made a donation of $5,000 the first of the year for the signage that's going into on the wall and for kind of miscellaneous expenses for the project. We had John, you can help me out, undesignated donation of $1,800 from the Schuler Foundation. So we can certainly apply that, which is $56,800. Foundation has about 70-ish in the deposited in the bank. With Eric leaving, the foundation officers have shifted a little bit. I am the president. Katie will be, I believe, vice president, and Janie treasurer. So we have yet to meet as a group of that. So that group needs to discuss what funds, you know, might be available. Through the conversations we had with Building and Grounds, as the room evolved, Cal was very, very outspoken that she wanted it done nicely and beautifully into her standards, which included shelving, which are now in, and if you haven't seen them, they look great. I was with Martha when she first saw them. She was thrilled. Also, by now, Martha, is the tile in?
Yes, the tiles in, they also put in
Really?
yes. They put in the door today as well. They still have a
Terrific.
little bit more to do on the door, but the tile is in. It looks like a real fireplace. I can, I'll pull up a photo to show later, or let me.
Right, everybody try to get over there. At any rate, so Cal, through our conversations, Cal was approving additional expenditures beyond her donation, fully anticipating that she would be a sponsor for those when she returned from her trip to Spain or to Greece, which we all know, sadly, was where we lost Cal. So Eric reached out to the Stroh family and explained her interest in the improvements in the room. And Greg Stroh informed us, very appropriately, that once Cal had passed, funds were tied up in the family trust. And until the trust is, I don't know what the word is, John. Distributed, thank you. The Stroh family, the kids, have nothing to do with any of the decisions. Greg did tell Eric that the foundation is a beneficiary of her trust, their trust. I have no idea to what degree, and he didn't think that that information would be available until late 22 or 23. So, so that's that, and I'm fully respectful of the Stroh situation there. So we, as a library, as a committee, have to decide what's next. And I think in following Stroh's or Cal's wishes, she was real clear about what she wanted. It just, you'll see, it looks good and nice. And she had indicated some choices for furniture. So we're in a position to fulfill her dream and goal and vision of the room. And I think we probably would all want to do that. So the question is about $17,000, which we just have to figure out between the foundation, which this new board hasn't met yet, and also the finance committee. So like Bill was saying, I mean, probably in the next week or two, all of this can get discussed. But to do it properly, we really sort of should go with those two entities involved. So we're not talking about a whole lot of money, and I think everybody wants it just done and done properly. We do have a commitment to the family to have some kind of an open house celebration in the fall. So actually, Martha, we should all start thinking about that, because getting their schedules and travel plans all put together so they can be in one place would be important. So yeah,
It's another reason to order all the furniture.
Exactly. Yeah, and which I don't know that would be here by fall anyway. But
Do we know who the trustee is?
I don't.
It's not the family members. It's maybe an institution.
That I don't know. Eric was involved in that conversation with Greg. I mean, I could ask Greg, but I don't. Is that something we should be inquiring about?
Well,
I mean, I guess I'm thinking if it's an institution, we can just call and ask them what's going on, right?
yeah. I mean, it's the trustee may have the discretion. I'm thinking the family members may not be able to have the power to divert funds from the trust. The trustee may not either, but it wouldn't hurt to reach out to the trustee and kind of explain the situation.
Yeah. Okay, I'll follow up with Eric and going from that direction. He had a good relationship with Greg, and Greg was kind of speaking for the family. But again, it's not an enormous amount of money. So
Right.
And if for some reason it's not available to us, then we would have to make this decision anyway. So
they're probably waiting to file the final tax return is probably what they're waiting on.
Yeah.
Kathy, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you make sure to update me because I'm the liaison for the family for the ceremony? And
I'm sorry.
Jillian here.
Yeah.
I said if you could just keep me updated about any changes, because I'm the liaison with Mark for the ceremony specifically.
Oh, okay.
And we were the staff were under the impression that we should wait for the furniture. So if that's changing, just let me know.
Yeah, the day of the funeral, it was discussed that we were all talking about the fall. So we at least have to follow up with them because they may be anticipating that. I know some of, for instance, the two priests that were at the funeral were very good friends of Cal, were asking me, to be sure to be included in the fall. So the fall was kind of the focus. So if that's changed, and I really would hate to wait much longer than that since everything's all ready, but we need to all sit down and kind of iron this out. Let's do that soon. But sure, Jillian, I'm glad that you're a step ahead of me in terms of outreach. That's great.
Yep, and it's in the newsletter that we're anticipating a ceremony in the fall as well.
Yeah.
But it's vague.
It's vague, but it says
intentionally.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what Cal was telling the family and everything else, and they just they were all here in July, so they had to just get back for that. So we'll all get working on that. So that'll be it.
Well, Bill, besides saying that we should order the furniture all at once, do you have any opinion personally on this, whether we should? Because I'm thinking, I don't know if it's appropriate, and I want to ask, here she is,
Right.
Jenny and John too, if either of you have an opinion on whether we should just use reserves. I mean, we just were talking about our reserves, and we are well over what we should be.
Yeah. The other thing, Janie, is that interest earnings with whatever way we did the money this year, we've got a lot. We're getting more into that account than we've had in the past. So I just did a quick calculation now, and I think there should be in excess of $6,000 in there with interest, because we made 740 in the last month, and if that were to continue on, that would be, you know, somewhere around 76 with what's in there at the moment against the budget of what looks like $1,000. So right there, we've probably got 6,600 extra over. And then if the passports continue, you know, there could be another 5,000 there. So there's about 11,000 there at the moment that could be, you know, over what was budgeted. So as a kind of reserve that we wouldn't even need to touch the other side.
Right. Well,
Right,
you
that
know,
would, excuse me, Janie, that would give the foundation a little bit of ability to make a contribution, but not.
Not up to the
strain themselves.
17,000, yeah.
yeah. What do you feel about it, John?
Yeah, I think it sounds good. I mean, you know, it's not that much. The difference is not that much. So, you know.
I think we'd all like to see this complete.
Oh yeah,
How
absolutely.
about you,
Yeah,
Jenny?
yeah.
Do you have
And
any, Jenny, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I agree with John. I would move
I
forward.
mean, timing of the dedication. When would the next, in relationship to the next newsletter or the newsletter that would come immediately or soon after that, how would that work? I mean, how does that timing work? I would assume we'd want to feature that in the newsletter that would follow the dedication.
So right now we've got, so the fall newsletter hits doorsteps around September 1st, ideally.
Oh, okay.
So we are wrapping up.
Yeah.
Well, what we
Okay.
have right now is we have a section saying like, we're anticipating that construction is going to be finished on the store reading room. We're waiting on the furniture. We're hoping to have something, you know, dedication ceremony in the fall. And then there's some, you know, just information about Cal and it notes her passing and everything. So, I mean,
what's the next newsletter after that one then?
the next one will be December 1st-ish.
Okay.
Will be the winter one.
That would be the one where we could really, you know, feature the dedication itself and the.
Yeah.
If we
could
wanted
do
to
that.
wait that long, if we wanted to wait
Right.
until December, we certainly could do that. But there's, you know, aren't there other ways we could get the information out there for that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We decided to do it sooner. I mean, it seems to me, does anybody remember how long the lead time was going to be? I think I have that in my notes, but I don't think I put it in the minutes.
For the
long you thought
furniture?
the lead time was going to be on the furniture order?
I have
That's
12
what I
weeks in
remember.
my head, but I don't know where that came from.
That sounds about right to me.
What was that?
sounds right.
12 weeks.
Yeah. So, and who's going to order this? I mean, who does that now? Eric was kind of doing all this stuff, so.
It'll, be probably Katie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm not,
I was just thinking about making a motion to, depending on what comes out of the finance committee meeting, upon their approval to go ahead and order the furniture, just to get it done as soon as possible. I personally would like to see this done.
I'm just going back, I did a little bit more of the calculation, and I think there's a buffer of about 12,000 in just those two accounts, Janie. I mean, I'm comfortable that you could go ahead and order the everything all at once and
Yeah,
not cause
and
any
Janie-
delay if everybody else is okay with that.
Yeah, looking at the foundation numbers without the three of us getting together, I'm comfortable that we can support that motion and would do it without us straying either way. So, and you know, details can be reconciled later, but I think this is a reasonable, and then we can get a date on furniture delivery and decide if we want to wait for that for the dedication or
Right.
move ahead, but at least get that framed and get back to the family who's kind of expecting to hear from us.
Yeah,
I have a picture pulled up if you'd like to see.
Great.
we'd love to.
Okay.
Oh
Oh,
my goodness,
wow.
look
Very
at
nice.
that.
It's beautiful.
Oh, and they've got the carpet. Look how nice the carpeting looks.
Yeah.
My,
And so
that's
I think,
amazing.
yeah, they've cleaned up, I think, a bit of that. And then the door, I don't have a photo of the door, but the fireplace and the casework look really nice.
Beautiful.
You know what, Martha, I took a photo of the door today. It's not
Oh.
great.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it.
Well, I know we had a lot of conversations about that tile. I know
Yeah.
she'd be happy about that.
Oh, it looks
Yeah.
fabulous. Aren't you thrilled?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
thrilled.
it looks really nice. And I'm like, well, we've got to do the rest of the building.
Yeah.
Well, maybe someone will.
I'm like, I hope this motivates people
Yeah.
as much as it motivates me.
Oh, I cannot find
And
this
it's
photo,
almost
but
chilly enough to try cranking up that fireplace too.
Yeah.
Well, have we agreed? Can we move ahead? I think we sound like we can get things ordered. Martha, I'll stop in and Katie gets back next week or the week after.
Next week.
Okay, well, that should be on a to-do list and we can.
So
yeah.
should the motion be to go ahead and order the furniture? Or to wait until we meet with the foundation and finance meets? Which
You know what we
direction
can
should we
do,
go?
Janie? We can actually we can get the final invoice. We can actually, since this has been really vetted tonight, Katie can reach out to trustees and there's a way to just get an approval with her contact to individual trustees, because what I'm hearing is a universal agreement that
Yep.
we should move ahead if possible. So
Right.
she can just
Yep.
follow up
Yep.
with everyone and get an approval.
Right.
Okay, that sounds good to me. So I will move to have Katie poll the trustees when she receives the amended invoice, and go ahead and order the furniture and try and get a delivery date
I so
when she
move.
comes back.
I so move.
I'll second.
And then I guess we can just say all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Was there any report from HR?
Yes, we've had, our committee met once and then on July 12th. And thank you to the committee and Martha for being so helpful in helping us put together the job posting. And then I think that it's going to be posted probably to Rails and ILS within the next week or so.
Yes, I just need clarification on the that link that I saw your email, that I just need a.
Oh, yes, and Janie responded to just to give us, to say that the MLS is required and the other experience was, how did we phrase it?
Desired, I believe.
Desired, there you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
All right.
That was the way I remembered it.
Yes.
Okay, then I can fix that one sentence to whatever it is, and I'll get that posted. I can do that tomorrow.
Yeah, if you want to wordsmith that a little bit, I don't think either one is stated real elegantly, so
No.
have at it, Martha.
But there
But,
there was one version that was more clear that it was required than the other one. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Martha.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that was a good catch, because
Yes.
we would have been caught a little bit red-faced there on that one, but have you posted anything? I mean, is it out there for people to see?
Technically, the web page that I made is on, it's available on the website. It's not linked to anything. So if someone's just browsing the website, but if someone were to search like Bluff Library director posting or something, they would probably find it. But tomorrow I will get it posted on ILA and Rails, and then get it kind of migrated onto the main part of our site. And I'll probably do a news posting too on our site.
Perfect. And then maybe that page that lists employment opportunities. You'll have
Yes,
listed
yeah,
there.
that will be part of that as well.
That'd be great. So we're still within our time frame because we are accepting applications until September 30th. And I know that the posting lasts a month on Rails and ILA. So I think we're
Rails, it will just stay until
stay.
whenever.
We take it down.
Yeah.
or
And
until
then
we take it down.
ILA, we're paying $100 for the month, right?
Well,
Yeah.
pretty good.
No, I was curious about that because I've been looking at the at our email and there's been nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I was getting a little nervous there.
No,
It's a job nobody wants. Great. But when you said you're going to post it publicly, were you going to put it in the fourth one that you said ILA Rails, our webpage, and you said one more thing?
I'll make a news post on our
News
webpage.
post.
So it'll be on the front page for the homepage for a little bit. And I can make a sign. Historically, we haven't had a ton of applicants who've like applied because they saw a sign, but you know, we'll try.
That's great. Thank you very much, Martha. You've been very helpful in getting all this done. So
course,
and I know you have a lot on your plate. So
No, and I'm sorry I didn't get this up sooner.
No, I had forgotten that there was that 1 month thing in there. So yeah.
yeah. So it works out great. And then the other meeting, we didn't have our full committee, but we met with Eric in order to have an exit interview. So I have some notes from that. And then I also have the form that he filled out. So I'll share that with the board so you can see what his comments were about his experience at Lake Bluff. So that is all we have for HR right now, I think, if I'm not missing anything.
You're right.
So
Yeah,
sorry.
The exit interview that Jenny put together and conducted was really well done and informative and gracious, and a real good opportunity for Eric and for members of the committee to have a really constructive conversation. I know, John, you've been encouraging an exit interview process for quite some time.
Right.
You know, I think this turned out really well, and it can evolve. And Eric was a very, very honest, and it was just a good exercise for all of us. So thank you, Jenny. Thanks, John, for keeping us on this project, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, I was very, very happy that we spent the time to do that, and I think it was very instructive for everybody. And thank you, Jenny, because you did a great job of conducting that meeting.
Oh, well, thanks everybody for all your feedback. So I think we have a good start on our form for future exit interviews. So it was nice.
I think it's applicable to anyone with any task at the library. It's useful.
Great.
Yes, and I'm glad that he was comfortable with us sharing it with the board too, because I think it's really informative.
Yeah.
Helps us to understand the experience. So I'll send that around so everybody can see that. But I think other than that, so we're just really, once we have the posting, once the posting is up, then hopefully we'll have some more to report next month on applicants. Good.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I don't know if you guys can see this at all.
Lost you.
The glare is really bad. I'll email everyone this photo if you would like of the door installation. It's not installed yet, but they're in the middle of installing it. And I was excited, so I took a picture.
Okay, so I think that takes us to the end of the committee reports.
Well, there's still the request for reconsider. Oh, we're going to save that for
new business. Yeah.
Business. Okay.
So yes, that takes us into new business and the request for reconsideration. On July 29th, we received a request for reconsideration. Request for reconsideration is the process by which a patron can ask us to reevaluate whether a title in our collection meets our selection criteria as defined by our collection development policy, with the outcome being that the item is either removed from or retained in the collection. And this is standard operating procedure for public libraries. I would wager that the vast majority of public libraries have a a policy like this on the books, and the ones that don't really should, because it is something that benefits from having structure before you get a request. So the request that we received was for the book Fred Gets Dressed by Peter Brown, which is in our picture book collection. The publisher's summary for the book is as follows. After having fun running around the house naked and wild, young Fred decides to get dressed in his parents' closet with surprising results. The patron who submitted the request felt that the book was inappropriate, specifically that it promoted cross-dressing as Fred gets into his mother's closet, puts on her clothes, and smears her makeup on his face. After the request was received, Katie and Eliza evaluated the book as stipulated by our policy. This evaluation included reading the book, conducting background research on the book, and then also reviewing our collection development policy, specifically the selection criteria. And then they crafted a recommendation based on that analysis. So the staff recommendation is to retain Fred Gets Dressed in the collection because it not only meets but exceeds our selection criteria as defined in our collection development policy. Specifically, the book is from a reputable publisher and author. Peter Brown is a highly respected author and illustrator and a winner of the Caldecott Honor, which is one of the most prestigious awards in picture book illustration. The book was also positively reviewed in professional review journals and received starred reviews from Booklist, School Library Journal, and Kirkus. And then this recommendation was presented to the ad hoc committee. Before I go to the ad hoc committee, Eliza, is there anything that you wanted to add to this?
Nope, thank you. You summarized it beautifully.
Okay. So would anyone from the ad hoc committee like to make a report on or present the discussion to the full board?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here. First of all, I think that the staff handled this in a very professional manner, as always, but also with a heightened awareness that this is an issue in libraries currently. So they didn't waste any time discussing it with me, bringing it to my attention. Eliza, Katie, Martha, everyone was just top-notch about the whole thing. Jon was very helpful in reviewing our policy, which we were telling the patron we had a policy, but Jon read it a little more closely than the rest of us. We put a committee together pretty quickly, which we should have. I mean, this will now be kind of a standing committee for kind of miscellaneous issues that come up, and then we get together and help brainstorm with the staff. Everything that Martha said, certainly the committee agreed upon and voted to recommend whatever the recommendation of the staff was, which was to retain the book. I will say Mr. Terrell, or we don't know how to pronounce his name, Terrell, was very gracious, very friendly, very pleasant. He was very pleasantly surprised that the library was so receptive to his concerns and wanted to discuss them. So I think we handled it well. The outcome, depending on what the board recommends back to the staff tonight, will be that Katie would follow up with him within a week of tonight's meeting and let them know our decision. So I wanted to really reach out to Jon and to the staff and say thank you for coming together on the seat of our pants, putting together, I think, a polished review for this patron, and very satisfied with the recommendations that we're making.
I was very pleased with our discussion, and I think we gave it a fair and thorough review, and I think a justifiable outcome. And there's a motion, I think, from the committee to the board, right? Did we make a motion?
Yes.
The board, the committee voted to recommend to the board to support the position of the staff, which was to retain the book in its collection. Is that correct, Martha? Is that what
Yes, and then that would be the decision that the board would need to vote on tonight.
Okay.
Right.
So is there any other discussion on that, or questions or feedback, or any of your thoughts?
Yeah, just to add, when we wrapped up the committee meeting, I went over to my bookshelf, and this was based, John, on your comment about published scientific articles about
Oh, the
toddler,
Mhm.
preschool kind of age range behavior. And sure enough, it's called Development Through the Ages, or Development Through Life, a textbook from my master's in public health degree. So should that be helpful for Katie in her discussion with the patron? There is a lot of reference around, in the 3 to 6-year-old age range, imitation of adults and fantasy play. So that'll be available for Katie and or Kathy if you would like it for discussions with the patron.
And he may wish it himself, because he really felt that this was kind of fundamentally leading kids in the wrong way. And I think we all discussed that we felt that this was not inappropriate, and he seems like a really open-minded person, so he may ask to take a look at it as well.
That's great. That's great. Thank you.
So without any other discussion, and Eliza, I didn't mention you were very helpful. You've mastered your expectations of working down in the children's area, knowing what should be down there and how to represent the materials that we have. So thank you for all that.
Yes, and thank you for reacting so beautifully and handling it so well when he approached you.
Yeah,
The original approach.
Yeah.
So do we have a motion to for the board to accept the recommendations of the ad hoc committee to support the recommendation of the staff to retain Freddie Gets Dressed in our library collection?
I so move.
I don't think it needs a second, because
Okay.
it comes from a committee.
Okay.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so Martha, you will let Katie know that we've agreed to this. And the commitment I made to Mr. Terrell was that he would hear from her or me by a week from tonight. So if Katie's tied up, let me know and I will gladly reach out to him.
Okay, I will do that.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is old business, which I had as the foundation report, which I think we kind of covered already. Which would then take us to well, I'm just calling it the librarian's report because I'm not the director. So I have a few updates. It has been a very busy month, but the building is still standing. So we're happy about that. We have had some plumbing issues with the public toilets of a variety of issues, one of which involved the plumber coming today and taking the toilet out and then resealing it because there was a leak. So lots of fun stuff with the building. I did want to note in the report for the birthday bash, I did get the date wrong. It is September 24th, not the 25th. I wanted to provide an update on the block party, which was on Saturday. This was another successful Jillian Chapman led event. Wanted to acknowledge to the work of Anna Fifehouse, who was really instrumental in assisting Jillian with like the logistics and helping with planning. Staff members Karen Spanos, Lizzie Crampton, and Sophia Czar worked the event. We also had several volunteers, including Jenny and Bonnie, who were helping sell raffle tickets. We had a table where we sold raffle tickets, and we had a children's craft. We made $787 from raffle ticket sales, which we are pleased about. And people seemed overall very positive and happy to support the library. We had a few people who just insisted on giving us money, which was nice. And someone who insisted that the children's craft was too good, and she insisted on paying us, which I think she just bought raffle tickets, but it was nice to hear that feedback. Brad Schneider, our U.S. House Representative, was also there, as was Bob Morgan, who is our Illinois State House rep. And we are featured on both of their social media pages. So it's
Ooh.
kind of a big deal. We're on congressional social media.
Martha, who was the second man you mentioned?
Bob Morgan, he's the House rep for the Illinois State House for this area. I can't remember what the district is. And then just an update on the phone system, which I've been referring to as my villain origin story. There isn't much of an update. They have not gotten back to me about getting a credit for our account for the 5 days that we were without service. I am not happy with them, I guess, to put it mildly. And I'm hoping to get some more answers about what happened and why, because what they've provided so far has not been helpful or much of anything. And the response time on this ticket was poor. Were there any questions about the narrative report or any other library stuff?
Martha, just a quick question on the phone outage.
Mm-hmm.
How many calls per day does the library typically get on the landline?
You know, I'm actually not 100% sure. I could probably find out. It's a good question.
You got one from me yesterday.
I did, yes.
Did it go through?
It did. It got through. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know sometimes I will call the library. I rarely like send an email or anything, but you know, if I'm curious about if an item is in the collection or something like that, I will typically default to calling.
Yeah.
I would guess around 24 a day.
And then
1,000
outbound.
a day?
24?
Oh, 24. I thought you said 2,000. I was going to say, my God, how do you guys get anything done?
Don't have the staffing for that. No.
I mean, sometimes it does feel like 2,000 depending on what's going on. 2,000 seems low because I was going to say 50, but I don't know where I'm getting that number from. But I can also look at our call logs and see if I can get a firmer number on that.
I just want to start doing a little checklist to see what comes in and what the purpose of them is.
Yeah.
I will tell everybody that on the first day of, I guess it was August 1st, which was the first day that Katie was interim director, and there were changes and there was a lot of adjustment. We were involved in these conversations with Mr. Terrell, and I was trying to call the library, and I was being told that the library was closed, and I was really troubled by that, so I had to email kind of everybody, and then they let me know that the phone systems were down. So I thought, well, we're just Katie, you're just having a really good day on your first day. So hopefully things have gotten a little steadier.
Yeah.
But everybody handled it well, very beautifully. So as
We
always.
have a standing joke at the library that whenever anybody leaves, the building throws a fit. So
Yeah. Or like if we get a new director or interim director, it's like a horse trying to throw a new rider.
Well, the toilet having the wax seal fail is just right up with that.
Yeah, we've had issues with 2 of the toilets, and they came up and they're like, Martha, do you know what's going on with the other toilet? And I was like, what do you mean the other toilet? We just got the other one fixed. But those are the toilets that are in the original part of the building, which I believe the one in the children's department may have been installed in the 70s. And the other ones are not much better. They were installed in the 90s. So it's not unexpected, but
toilets don't cost that much. It's probably something.
Well, so part of the problem is that the plumbing would need to be updated like substantially in order to get like a commercial grade toilet, you know, the ones that sound like the airplane taking off when you flush them, the ones that are in the new side of the building with the plumbing on the original side of the building apparently can't handle that. So
sounds expensive.
Yeah,
everything's expensive.
So
okay,
maybe that'll come up in our review of the building. Ingberg Anderson does.
I would be shocked if it didn't.
Right.
I agree with the comments on the gardening this year. It's been delightful to watch. A lot of
Yeah.
people have been approached me and just said, wow, it's wonderful to see this vegetable garden growing. And at Eric's little going away reception, I mentioned to everybody he worked really closely on developing the whole garden setting of the library. And it looks beautiful. Our landscape crew does a great job, and it's a real tribute to where we've been for the last 10 years. The library looks really nice, and it just keeps getting better and better. So kind of kudos to everybody.
The produce is good too.
Yeah.
Does anybody need cucumbers? We have cucumbers.
I'll come get some.
Yes, I love cucumbers.
Me too.
Been a good producer.
Oh, they're so good fresh from the garden too. There's like such
Yes.
a difference.
They are my favorite vegetable, so this is a great year for me. Okay. And then so that's the end of the report. I guess any and all other business, or is there any other business that may properly come before the board?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention Carol Carter had left a thank you note for the board for gift cards that were distributed to the staff this spring. We haven't been able to have our sit-down luncheon receptions in the last few years. So Eric and I thought that would be at least an effort to make up for that. And I think it was well received, and I'm happy to hear from Carol and everybody else. So it might be something that we want to consider. It's good for our staff. They certainly deserve any rewards we can come up with. And it's also good for neighborhood businesses. So it's nice to kind of work with everybody.
So Kathy, just for my minutes, did the library, did that come out of library funds?
Yes, because we have, as you know, because you've helped prepare luncheons in the past over the holidays. We haven't done that since 2020. Well, last one was in 2019.
Right.
So at some point in time, Eric and I said, what can we do in lieu of that? And we come up with a few varieties, and what he decided upon was gift cards. I guess that's right, Martha, for all of the staff.
Yes, I used mine last week, actually.
Good. And so
Thank you.
Appreciate Carol bringing it to our attention, and we're very happy to have done that. And certainly we'll talk about doing it again.
Okay. Then if there is nothing else, oh, well, there's statistics. Did anyone have any questions about the statistics?
Seem to be up there. That's good.
No, I think. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the.
One thing real quick. What's it called? Actually, for digital collections, I have to say this summer, I put in I'll be very frank, I go to Costco, I take pictures of brand new books, I compile my reserve the collection, and I reserve them digitally. And then I get this notice, it's out. I'm like one of 537 people. And 3 of them I received within a week.
Oh, wonderful.
So we're really up there. I know our library then falls into another queue of subscribers, but it's working very, very well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we have a lot of very pretty happy patrons. So
yeah.
It works really well.
Yeah, I know Anna has worked very hard to figure out a good system for ordering ebooks. So yeah, she's got that all figured out. More than I ever did when I was ordering for the collection. So she's doing a great job.
And one of them is being overtaken, I can't see the names here, by the other one shortly. Overdrive is being taken over by
Libby, is it?
Libby.
Yeah.
So do we just at some point in time get rid of our Overdrive apps? Is that how that works?
Oh, so Overdrive and Libby are the same company. Overdrive, they had like a legacy app. And then they introduced Libby as like this, more streamlined way to access Overdrive. And initially they said they were going to maintain both, and they did that for a few years. And then I think it was in It's either February of this year or 2021. It might have been 2021. Time is kind of blurry right now, but they decided to sunset the legacy app, Overdrive, and just go with Libby as their main app. So that's what happened with that. So we still have Overdrive
here and on the website and all that.
Oh yeah, we just took it off the website because you can't download that app anymore. But
Okay.
Libby is the same thing as
So we just
Overdrive.
work with Libby. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, that's great. It worked nicely.
I do have one question. I was wondering, when has school started yet? And if so, does it, if not, does it start soon? And when are we going to go back to regular hours?
Regular hours always resume the first Sunday after Labor Day. So that will be September 11th. And school, Eliza, do you know the answer to that?
Starts tomorrow.
Oh,
Well, the high school starts
High
tomorrow.
school starts tomorrow, and then
The elementary starts next week and kindergarten's the week after. I know all this.
Of course you do.
I have two other quick things. One, I have the photo to show everyone of the glass door.
Oh, great.
And the second is I have, well, we'll do this one first. Wait, that one. So you should be able to see the blue brick to the left,
Yeah.
Yeah.
bathroom door to the right, and then believe it or not, it's wet, of course, because the plastic's down now and the room's sort of cleared out. You see the new carpet tile, and the one guy's vacuuming it and the other guy's installing the frame of the door. And it was just so nice to have all that sunlight coming through.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about how much glass and therefore light traveling through there's going to be for this. So there's the
Beautiful.
photo. Haven't done this in so long. Here we go. Stop share. Second thing is, for this in the ad hoc committee that met, I just a few ideas to bounce around on maybe what we call the group.
Yeah.
One could be like special topics committee. Another thing could be the all other items committee, or I don't know how we establish another committee, or you just kind of in and out, make it ad hoc, but give it a name. Just some thoughts on that.
Yeah, I had thought of special needs, but that's so education prone that
Mhm.
leads us in a different direction. So
Yeah.
special topics isn't bad. And it's really going to be one of these committees like, intergovernmental that meets when it needs to meet, which is very infrequently. So that's clear enough what the purpose is if we happen to have a special topic. Martha, how does that sound to you?
That sounds fine. I mean, Neil, I told you last time the only idea I had was the judiciary, which is not convey the
Yeah, because
idea.
it really could be anything that comes
Yeah.
up, and it's just a fallback. So anybody else think special topics would work for now?
Yep.
Works for me.
Yep, works. That's fine.
Okay, so Martha, if you would make a note for that for Katie, so that'll just be set
Sure.
up. And right now the standing, I think it was myself, Janie, Bonnie, and John.
Yes. And then I don't know, will you need to amend the bylaws for that, or because it's still ad hoc, is it?
That's a good question. I don't
I
know.
wonder if we should make it just would it make sense to make it a committee that the president calls together on an as needed basis and chooses?
Well, that's what an ad hoc committee is, yeah.
Okay, but I mean, we wouldn't put a
Just leave
list
it
of
for that?
people on, we wouldn't say these people are members of that committee. We would just say,
Because you might have different, if it's whatever the topic is, you might need
That's true.
certain people in there, or
Well, the president has the ability to call an ad hoc committee for any reason.
right, so,
We could just leave this in limbo, and as the need arises, we have a specific committee for this.
Yeah.
so we don't have to list, a standing committee with
No, we don't
members.
have
It
to
would
do that.
just
We don't have
be
to
the
bring it to the
president, would
bylaws.
be the one who
Yeah.
would call together
Right.
what he or she feels fit.
Now, this was the first time in 11 years, so it doesn't happen too often.
Once every decade, huh?
yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
the
right, well,
decade
thank you,
committee.
Matt. We'll hold on to it as ad hoc and maybe leave it on the agenda for another month because there may be some feedback from Katie's conversation. We'll want to report back from Katie, so we'll leave it till then.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, we could add it to the agenda for as new business for the next meeting. We could
Yeah.
look into the bylaws and
Right,
such, and
right. Then we could have our bylaws committee meet, which they never meet either, so.
what you need is a committee on the committees.
All right.
All right, so then if there is nothing else, then I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
And Martha, thank you very much for your help.
Oh,
tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Martha.
Thank
You
you,
did a great job.
welcome. I hope I didn't mess it up too much.
No, it's great. Great. What
You
time
did
we're getting
great.
out?
Right, okay.
Found a new calling.
There you go.
Right.
All right, everybody. Good night.
All
Thank you
right.
so
All
much.
right.
Good night,
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night. Thank
Night.
you, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.